What up, folks? I'm Ultrazilla, and today we're gonna have a discussion video. These are very different than the Vlogzillas. They're very focused subjects, so that's why I call them a Let's Talk or discussion. So let's talk about best of the year lists, because mine is coming up very soon. It is December 20th, so we're at the end of the year, and I want to discuss a few things, like, what should be on that list as far as the type of toys and when they come out and all that, and the various things that happen at the end of the year. So there's a lot to unpack here, and it's always been a subject I have wanted to talk about, and I usually start out like disclaimers on my best of the year, but this year I'm expanding it to a full video. So here to help me talk about these lists are two from last year. My number 11 of last year is very, very important and a big part of what I want to talk about. It was the SH Figuarts Venom. The other figure here is the Hiya Toys GVK Godzilla, the first version. It was my favorite toy of last year. It came in number 1. I still really like this toy. It is awesome. Little flaws be damned. It feels great. And it's a figure. I've gone on record saying I think it's better than their newer version. I know there's a new version of this, but it's just the 2019 that they did that I reviewed that I didn't really like that much. Repainted as this. So I think this version is better in my opinion in a lot of ways. So, I brought them out here because, representation of last year's list, best of, and number 11. So why is this guy here, and why am I talking about a number 11 pick? Well, he was number 11 last year because this was the final review of last year. I reviewed this figure on December 31st. It was the final thing you saw in 2022 on my channel. And it came that day. So I really only had this guy like a day and a half before I did my best of the year list. Because my best of the year lists always come out on January 1st. Why do I do that? Because I give myself the entire year to come up with that list, and to, and I take the list very seriously, and I give toys up to the very end. Now, I'm like one of the only people that do that. Like, you're gonna see I've already seen at least a couple of lists pop up on YouTube. People do not wait till the very end of the year for whatever reason. I don't know what that is, because I'm sure they're getting toys still, and maybe they're not. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Because this year has me thinking about this stuff a lot. And one of those reasons is I just, I haven't been able to get as much. I've gotten a lot, but I haven't been able to get, like, a lot of the stuff that's come out late on time. And that's, I've documented my own, problems this year, money-wise and stuff. So even though I've gotten a fair bit amount of stuff, it hasn't been everything I've wanted to get. And that's a bummer. But there's nothing I can do about that. Now, the reason why we're, getting back to this guy, talking about this, is last year, this guy came out in Japan. This is a SH Figuarts. Came out in Japan in the final couple of days of the year. I shipped it, and it got here. And I was just like, it is here. It is in my hands. And I'm going to review it. Because if you've never seen my best of the year list, my criteria is, not only did the figure have to come out in 2022 or 2023, this year, whatever, in the year, I also had to review it. So that was my own personal spin on it, because it kept me honest. Like I've put stuff on my best of the year lists in the past that I never had a chance to review, and I feel like that's like cheating in a way. Like if I didn't review it here, like how, there's nothing to corroborate that. Like you can't go back and watch my review then and be like, oh yeah, that's why. Like you just have to trust that this is my opinion on this one thing that you never saw on the channel. So I changed that 2 years ago, and I think that's been a really, really good rule, because it just makes a lot of sense. So that's why I got this guy done right away. It came and got it done. But here's the thing. I might have gotten it on December 31st, but how about everybody else that didn't get it? How about all those folks that might have gotten it on December 31st as well, and already did their best of the year list? Like, what happens to this figure? Like, do they count it for 2024? A lot of folks will count it for 20. I bet you're gonna see SHF Venom on a lot of 2024 lists. And that is totally cool. And that is totally okay, because you know what? Everybody should have their own criteria and their own list. There's no be all end all of these lists. It is, subjective to whatever person wants, a reviewer wants. But I do feel like doing these lists are like, I feel like if you're reviewing toys, you should do a list. You know what I'm saying? You should put your money where your mouth is of all the stuff that you've gotten this year and say which one was the actual best for me. And by best, I mean your favorite, because let's like stop fooling ourselves. Nobody is the ultimate critic of these things, and nobody's opinion is absolute. So it is just an opinion. It's all subjective. And it is really a favorites list. It's not best of. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this figure is, objectively the best figure. Because that's just, to me, that's BS. If you're saying that to me, that's just BS. But I like watching these things because I like seeing what people loved during the year. For me personally, look, it's Venom, it's Godzilla here. I love showing all the diversity that's on this channel in particular. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks might be like, goo gaga just over Godzilla, but that's not all I cover, and it's never been all I covered. It's the most major part of the channel, sure, but it's not everything I cover. And sometimes these lists are a good way to expose people to other stuff. And that's another reason why, I felt like I have to stick to stuff I reviewed, because people might get curious. I mean, this Godzilla being number 1 on my list is actually an outlier. It was the first Godzilla ever to be number 1 on my list. Is that bananas? No, it's not, because I love a lot of toys. And I just like certain toys more than other toys when all is said and done. And I'm allowed. So this Godzilla being number 1, it was an outlier, And that's amazing because of all the Godzilla stuff I do cover here. So that's telling, and that's why I'm always saying diversify your collections. There's so many awesome toys out there. You're not even, in my opinion, if you want to go by that, collecting the best toys out there, So if you're interested in other things, why not check out other things? But anywho, that's neither here nor there. The thing is, this guy is gonna appear on a lot of 2023 lists, and that is okay, because you know what? Not everybody's even buying it from Japan. This guy was actually hard to get from Japan. He was sold out in a lot of places. So he is going to be on a lot of lists this year because people got it from US stores that didn't get their shipments till what, late January? February even? When did this guy come out? It had to be then, right? Because it's about 6 weeks behind, a month to 6 weeks behind the distribution here in America. And that is like something that should count. You know, like it should be on a lot of 2023 lists because, you know, a lot of folks did get it this year from US distribution. And that counts as a separate release. So, you know, I absolutely hate when I hear folks complaining about that stuff. Like, if I put something on my list and, you know, someone's like, oh, that didn't come out last year. That came out in, like, December of last year. And I'm like, yeah, maybe for you, but not for me. I pre-order it somewhere else. You know, but that's where things get a little murky, right? Like, if you pre-ordered something on US release and it comes out, you know, next year, then that should be a 2024 item without a problem. But then there's like this weird area, well, you know, stuff that comes out in December, sometimes it's really hard to get. And not just because of, you know, it comes out in Japan or whatever. I'm not even talking about that. Like, there's like Hasbro items that, you know, come out that like are like sometimes really like because of distribution, or Mattel items even, that are not really out everywhere. Maybe you'll see some folks luckily getting stuff early. How is that fair? You know, like, how can you count it? Like, when do you count it? Do you count it from when you got it? Or from first sighting, right? There's no, like, official street date on a lot of that stuff. So that's a weird thing onto itself. And I think that's got to be subjective to the reviewer and how they feel about it. You know, like, December, in total, from beginning to end, I feel like becomes a murky area. In so much as that I feel almost that I want to start doing my best of the year list, counting from December to December. And forget January. Like all, you know, stuff that comes out now would count till next year. I'm not doing that right now because that's a weird thing too, because I did get stuff in December and I haven't done my list, but it's something to think about. Like, the December stuff is hard to get. Also, it's Christmas time. I know folks that just won't get anything for themselves right now. And, you know, is it my job to just get everything that I need to get for the channel and forget, like, getting gifts for my family? Like, no. You know, like, that's gotta be accounted into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting everything for free here. If everything came in for free, that's fantastic. Then I would go out of my way to try to get everything done. But that's just not how things work. And you have to account to that. You also have to account, you know, not everybody is getting every single thing, right? Not everyone can get every single thing all at once. So what happens then? What happens to this December stuff that, like, oh, no, I gotta hold off. Like, right now, if you want to get technical with me right now, like, and peek behind the curtain of what I'm thinking about, there's the Hayatoys King Ghidorah, which some folks started receiving, right? But it's only out overseas. The US releases, and now remember, all of this stuff is getting US releases now. So, just like the SH Figure Arts import stuff, the Hayatoy stuff are all on pre-order in, like, BBTS, Entertainment Earth, you know what I'm saying? Even Amazon, you know, like, all of this stuff is now, like, you know, being able to be pre-ordered here, and it's coming out later than the China release of them, right? So that's an interesting thing too. So like, Hayatoys is going into the Tamashii Nations area now because this stuff is coming out. King Ghidorah came out. I did not pre-order it. You know, you guys know I'm not working with Haya anymore. I haven't been since the beginning of the year. So I'm not getting King Ghidorah right now. I have it on pre-order at BBTS. When is it coming out? I don't know. It said end of 2023, but we're at the end of 2023, and it's not here yet. So if it comes out at BBTS, if they get it in January, that's a 2024 release for me. So, you know, like, and it has to be because that's where my order is, and I can't do anything about that. Some folks might, you know, put me on the spot and say, well, you can order it from overseas right now. Yeah, but I am not paying the shipping for that. Nor I decided to get it on US pre-order. So, to save on shipping, and that's that. You know, like, yeah, I mean, I'm a reviewer and I like to have things as soon as possible, but, you know, like, whatever happened with them, and I have to decide, you know, monetarily what's best for me as well as for the channel. And, you know, I'm sorry, but, like, I could save some money here, and I will, you know, and I really need to, you know, like I said, financial reasons. So, King Ghidorah is gonna be a next year release. Now, that said, at BBTS, about a week ago or so, I finally got Burning Godzilla in. Yeah, that's how far back it is if you look at some of the early reviews for that for the folks that got them from overseas. So BBTS finally got their Burning Godzilla in, and I haven't shipped it yet because I was trying to debate if I wanted to add something to that list. Now, should I not get it before the end of the year? And I'm gonna ship it. I'm gonna try to ship it. That'll be on me because I feel like that came out, and I'm probably not going to include that even on a 2024 list if I don't get it and review it this year, because it came out, I had the pre-order, it came out, and I had the means to get it, and I didn't. Now, had it come out and I didn't have it ordered, then again, murky. It's December, it's a December release. Maybe I you know, decided I can't afford it right now and I have to wait. There's no reason why that can't be a 2024 release on my 2024 list. You know, it's subjective to however you want to do it, is what I'm saying. So, Hayatoys stuff is going to be interesting this year. I'm not talking specifics about the list, but it'll be interesting because, you know, I unfortunately, and I had some issues with some of the figures. So it wasn't as hunky-dory as last year. We're talking from, you know, best of the year to, are they even making my list this year? It's a weird thing, right? So as far as some other areas of murkiness for me, the new wave of Toho Ultimates is out. It's shipping from Super 7 right now. Destroya and the Meltdown Godzilla. That's interesting. I didn't pre-order those. Super 7 is another company where I'm not sure what my status is actually at this point, but I haven't heard from them, you know, in a little bit since this guy. So I'm not sure. I don't think they're doing regular waves with me anymore. So, you know, it is one of those things where I don't have a pre-order of that because, you know, I thought I might have been getting those when those went up for pre-order, to be honest. So yeah, it's a weird thing. I didn't pre-order with them, and now I don't have a pre-order anywhere for them. So it's kind of a wait and see when they come out. So those are probably not going to be 2023 releases for me either. You know, but speaking of Megazords and Power Rangers, the latest wave of the MMPR Ultimates did come out, and BBTS has them. And I'm thinking about getting putting the Megazord on the list with Burning Godzilla to ship, because that was one item I really wanted to check out. So you might see that Haya Burning Godzilla and the Super 7 Ultimates Megazord before the end of the year here. If I could get them in time, we shall see. But that is out now. And, you know, regular retailers have the Megazord. So if I did want it, you know, I feel like I need to get it, you know, to make good on that, you know, for my own sanity. You know, like the other two Ultimates, the Toho Ultimates, they could wait till 2024. And, you know, that's fine. Especially if BBTS doesn't get them till then that'll be really good. But, you know, if they get them sometime next week, that's basically 2024, because it'll be impossible for me to ship them out of there in time. So, you know, it is what it is. For me personally, those are gonna be 2024 releases. Haya, King Ghidorah, 2024 release for me. I'm just gonna have to, you know, everybody's gonna have to deal with those being on that list for next year. It is what it is. That's the releases and how they work out. One other thing of note for me, I have one HLJ pre-order that is coming out before the end of the year. Will it be another SHF Venom? Because it is the SHF Earth Garone. Here is the DX Earth Garone, which is probably in my list of best of the year. But should that come out, I'm gonna attempt to get it in time here. And if it doesn't, then it is what it is. I don't know what to say. That, you know, we'll see. Sometimes this part of me that like feels like, you know, maybe that figure will be bad. And that'll be it. But that is the only other pre-order. I did miss some I missed Ella King. And I didn't pre-order that one. I did pre-order that one, but I actually had canceled it. So unfortunately, that looks like something that I won't be getting at least this year. So probably won't appear in the list because it's out in the US as well. So it is what it is. I'll probably have to give up on even thinking about that. But just, you know, a few things to think about. You know, I've been like, you know, whittling down my tops of the year. And the figures you saw at the opening are, you know, some of the figures that I'm thinking about for that tops of the year. So, you know, I felt like, and I haven't seen some lists starting to pop up, you know, this was something to expand upon and talk about and talk, you know, because these lists are getting weird, you know, and for me, they're very long. You know, I do like tops of, like this tops 23 of 2023, but as much as I love that, I feel like I'm gonna stop doing that after this year. I always say that, but, and then I'm like, nah, that's such a unique Ultrazilla thing, but, you know, it is what it is. Top 10s might be a little more palatable for folks, but it's probably not gonna be this year because I'm so in love with my tops right now that, you know, I feel like I want to talk about them, you know what I'm saying? And that's it, guys. That's the video. Again, been thinking about the tops of the year list a lot. Been thinking about, you know, the stuff that is starting to drop. I'm starting to see folks get and probably wondering, like, when am I reviewing this stuff? And, you know, it affects my best of the year. It does, but, you know, these are the things that reviewers have to think about and deal with, especially, you know, if you are reviewing stuff, you need to come up with your own, you know, parameters and rules. And I felt like I needed to talk through some of this stuff to make it make sense a little bit more. I don't know. I just felt like talking about it, to be honest. I just did a couple of really long, super long Transformers reviews. Do check them out, please. Especially the Deathsaurus. That was a labor of love for one of the best figures of the year, speaking of which. And there you go, guys. That is my video. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts about any of this stuff down below. I would love to hear from some fellow content creators on this subject, on the subject of best of the year. What do you go by? Because there's a lot of different ways you can go. Till next time, peace out, peeps.